Hi, I'm Amy Bloch, Executive Director at Catholic Charities. And when I thought about what to talk about this week for Mental Health Monday, I didn't have to look too far because what I thought about was in my own personal life, something that I have been struggling with, which has to do with parenting. And I think, well, maybe not, but I think many of us struggle sometimes with getting into arguments with our kids. And it can be difficult and challenging sometimes because they're able to pull us right in, and we're not always sure how to get out of those power struggles with our kids. I have a 12-year-old daughter, and one of the most difficult things can be first thing in the morning and arguing over things that later seem to be so ridiculous, even according to her. One of the things because obviously I don't have all the answers, and in talking to people who I respect and who do a lot of work with parenting, is that oftentimes what happens is once you engage in that argument, you've already lost with that child, because you're engaging in that argument. They've won. They've pulled you into that. And that's where it can become this habitual pattern of really teaching that child that that can be a way to solve a problem. Now, there's certainly a difference between a disagreement and an argument. And so it's important that we as parents work with our kids to teach them how to solve problems. It's an important life skills. One of the favorite things that I read is you don't have to attend every fight you're invited to. And that is going to become my new mantra as a mom. But here are some steps to help you as a parent. First of all, understand what triggers you. What are the things that you as a parent, you know that you really struggle with? Whether it's when your child doesn't listen to you the first time. Is it seeing clothes on the floor? Is it that they don't do their homework right after school? What are those things that really trigger you that often can lead to an argument? Second, understand the patterns that lead to the argument. Once you see that it's become a pattern with you and your child, think about what happened right before that argument. How does it happen? What leads up to that? It's really important to understand it so that then you can make steps to change what that pattern is. Next, making a strategy. And this is really important to think about it ahead of time so that you're prepared for it when it happens. Decide ahead of time. So let's say you've given your teen daughter a consequence. So instead of getting into an argument about it, saying, look, we've already talked about what's happened. I'm not going to discuss it anymore with you, and walk out of the room. When you leave, you're taking all of that power with you. And she may continue to yell at you, but she'll be yelling at the wall, not at you. And that's one of the things I think is really important for us as parents. And I know as I'm thinking about it for me is oftentimes we just continue to engage and one of two things happen. It continues to explode and escalate and nothing else changes or gets resolved other than both leave in frustration. Or I don't know about you, but sometimes I change my mind, I cave, and not because my child has convinced me that they're right, because I'm just so worn out, which what does that do? It reinforces if they argue long enough, they'll get what they want. So just leaving that situation in a very calm way, saying, we've already talked about it. This is my answer. I'm going to leave now. Let your child know ahead of time that you're going to start making some changes in how you're interacting with them. That's the next step. So saying to them when you're not in an argument, having a conversation, I just want to let you know that I'm going to work on us not arguing anymore. It doesn't seem to be working for us. So next time when I feel that that's starting, I'm going to ask you to go to your room and I'm going to go do this until we can both calm down and talk through things. That way they know when you do something different, why that is and what the expectation is. The next thing is acting the way we want our children to act. Kids don't do what we say, they do what we do. As much as we wish that were different, that is what happens. And if we don't, they're sure to throw that back in our face. Well, you don't do this. So it's really important that we role model for them how we want them to behave. And begin with small steps. So the first time you walk away from an argument, it feels good. And your child may not be happy with it, and they're going to be angry about it, but it feels really good. Other thing I would say is, no, you're not going to do it perfectly. I've done that before, and it feels good to walk away and think, oh man, I'm getting this. And you'll go backwards and forwards, but it is about being in the process of making things better. Try different strategies to see what works for you. One of the best things I found, and it really works better with younger kids, because as my daughter got older, she realized that it didn't work anymore. So I had to find a new strategy, was saying, I love you too much to argue with you. And as crazy as that sounds, it works really well. And it stopped her in her tracks and it ended the argument. So finding different things that'll work for you. Don't take it personally, which is really hard because kids know exactly where to push and how to manipulate us. Doesn't mean they're bad kids. It's about their getting their needs met. That's what kids do and are supposed to do. That's how their brains are working. So it's important we work really hard to not take it personally. And if you find that it's become a pattern that's really interfering in your life and it's just too much, please remember that there is help out there, that our therapists are always available, whether it's a quick phone call or maybe you need some help or you're interested in some family counseling. You can reach out to any of our sites at cathchar.com. That's CATHCHAR.com. Thanks and have a great day.